EcoTricity's EcoTEC Roundup show from Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to EVs in Aotearoa. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another episode of news from the world of clean cars and green energy. Thanks for joining me. This week, after many weeks of teasing, Ford finally unveiled its first European market all-electric vehicle to be built on Volkswagen's MEB platform, the all-electric Explorer. Designed as a mid-size electric SUV, the all-electric Explorer will debut at the end of this year as a 2024 model year car and will be offered in both rear and all-wheel drivetrain variants. And although this uses the same battery pack and drivetrain as the Volkswagen ID3, ID4 and various other models from the Volkswagen Group, the Ford all-electric Explorer looks far more rugged than anything we've seen on the MEB platform to date. From the longer bonnet and grille-less nose to the sizable 15-inch movable portrait touchscreen in the car's centre console, this is unmistakably a Ford. We don't have final prices or many specifications yet, but we're eager to put it through its paces. For the last 3 years, the electric auto industry has been forced to contend with ever-increasing prices of the lithium-ion battery packs modern EVs need. That rise in prices was caused by several factors, including the COVID-19 pandemic, supply constraints, and a lag between rising demand for automotive-grade battery cells and production facilities capable of producing the same. That and, of course, rising prices of raw materials. But this week, Benchmark Minerals confirmed some good news for the auto industry, falling prices of some of the raw materials used in EV battery packs. Since January this year, the price of raw lithium has dropped by nearly 20%, copper by 18%, and cobalt, still used in some battery packs, dropped by more than a half. It should positively impact the cost of making and selling EV battery packs. It doesn't matter how good a product is, if consumers don't want it, it won't sell. Which is why we tend to pay quite a lot of attention to consumer surveys about EVs. The latest one, a 7-day poll from Reuters in collaboration with Ipsos, revealed some interesting things about EV adoption. Polling 4,410 participants with a credibility interval of around 2 to 3% points, it discovered 34% of respondents were open to the idea of an EV, while 31% said they were absolutely not. It also revealed that despite Elon Musk's increasing popularity among conservatives, only 26% of Republicans and 27% of independents said they were considering an EV. Meanwhile, 50% of Democrats were open to going electric. Those considering an EV, however, did not want to spend more than about $50,000 on it. A lack of transparent diagnostics data and a lack of knowledge among auto insurance company assessors about EVs, combined with a lack of help from automakers, means that more EVs are being written off after accidents if there's any doubt about the car's battery pack than there really should be. That's according to Reuters, which reported this week that there's a disproportionate number of electric vehicles being written off by insurance companies after what often appears to be fairly minor accidents, namely just a scratch. The problem, it notes, is that there is a lack of transparency from automakers concerning battery pack data, meaning insurance adjusters can't properly assess if a battery pack is damaged or not. That, combined with a shortage of battery packs and battery pack designs that aren't easily repairable, a limited number of specialist independent repair shops for EVs, the advent of structural battery packs, and this is the perfect storm. This year, we've seen Tesla come under increased scrutiny from safety regulators and organisations for its Tesla Vision-based Autopilot and Autopilot FSD systems. At the heart of these investigations is Tesla's decision to ditch radar from its Autopilot safety suite in 2021, a decision that meant the only way a Tesla can detect an object in front of it at speed was by using its cameras. Deleting radar from its cars and later ultrasonic sensors appears to have led to an increase in accidents involving Teslas, something that NHTSA and other safety organisations are examining. But now a report from SF Gate, citing former employees at the company, alleges that Autopilot engineers warned Tesla CEO Elon Musk multiple times that deleting radar would create safety issues. Despite numerous objections from senior engineers, he apparently overruled them. Despite confirming what it expects its all-electric arm, Model E, to lose $3 billion this year, Ford revealed its latest push towards an all-electric future this week. The company, which is massively investing in scaled production for existing electric models like the Mustang Mach-E, F-150 Lightning and Ford E-Transit, announced on Friday that it would begin producing its next-generation all-electric pickup truck, codenamed T3, at its Blue Oval City production facility in West Tennessee. Targeting a 500,000 all-electric trucks per year at full capacity, this $5.6 billion facility is due to be completed by next year, with T3-based trucks due to begin rolling off the line in 2025. T3, for those interested, is shorthand at Ford for Trust the Truck, a term it says its engineering team coined when it began development of its second-generation EV pickup. I think it's fair to say that when Kate and I got our hands on the Hummer EV pickup at the end of last year, we felt it was excessive in every way, and a little over the top for most people. But that over-the-top vibe apparently has found a lot of interest among first-time EV buyers, with GMC confirming this week that 70% of those putting down money to own either the Hummer EV pickup or Hummer EV SUV are first-time EV customers. Confirmed during the Hummer EV SUV launch event, GMC says it now has enough confirmed orders to account for all of the Hummer EV production it's planned for the entirety of this year and next. With a high five or even low six-figure price tag, the Hummer EV isn't exactly affordable, but it appears, as a halo car, to be doing its job. Tesla has come under a lot of criticism from environmental groups for its past construction of gigafactories, with concerns voiced over deforestation and water pollution of several sites. And with Tesla's newest gigafactory now confirmed to be built in Monterrey, Mexico, many people are paying close attention to see exactly how Tesla will go about making sure its facility is an environmentally responsible one. The chosen factory location, on a plot of land twice the size of Tesla's Giga Austin facility, is going to require a substantial amount of deforestation to build. But to try and avoid some of the issues it had in Germany, Tesla has apparently told a local government official that it will plant double the number of trees required by law on land adjacent to the facility. Hopefully, Tesla will follow through with that promise and work hard to avoid mistakes it made in Germany. In the last few weeks, we've been covering the sudden and frustrating backpedaling of the EU as it attempts to ban the sale of new internal combustion engine vehicles by 2035. The EU had come to the precipice of making the ban law, but a sudden change from a small but empowered part of Germany's coalition government threw a metaphorical wrench in the works when it campaigned for an exemption to the ban that would allow the sale of internal combustion engine vehicles running on e-fuels. Those are combustible fuels produced without fossil fuels using recaptured carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Sadly, as we've detailed before, while e-fuels are free from fossil fuels, they're not always that environmentally friendly. The new, modified legislation will be considered in the coming weeks and, frankly, could spell very bad news for Europe and the planet. Which, considering the news from the International Panel for Climate Change this week, is about the very last thing we need. Releasing its latest report on anthropogenic climate change, the panel, whose members include leading climatologists from all around the world, issued their last and final warning to world governments to act now or be forever paying the consequences, detailing the incredible destruction that anthropogenic climate change has already caused on communities around the world, killing millions of lives and destroying trillions of dollars of land, food and property. The IPCC's warning didn't mess around and stated that our world needs climate action on all fronts. Quote, everything, everywhere, all at once, end quote, or the damage we inflict on our planet will become irreversible at a rate so rapid and dramatic that society will be irreversibly changed. But who am I kidding? Not a whole lot of people will listen. Before we get to the last two stories, I do have a quick question for you. Are you in the market for a new electric car? Because if you are and you live here in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecotricity.co.nz. It's packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes plenty of details about incentives you can get, charging providers you can charge up with, and of course, how to get clean green energy at home. So follow the link below and start your journey today. While there are many of us who doubt the vision of a fully self-driving future for cars, including me, that's not stopping certain companies like Cruise from planning to dramatically expand their self-driving fleets around the world. And as we've covered recently on this channel, Cruise is planning quite the expansion, with a promise to expand more than just the number of robotaxis on the roads of San Francisco, but also expand its service to other metro areas in the US. But this week, we were reminded just how far Cruise's self-driving robot taxis have to go before we can truly rely on them. And the same is true for other robotaxis. As captured by John Phillip, aka Pop Rag on Twitter, recent storms in San Francisco that caused local streets to be taped off for safety meant that local drivers had to find alternative routes. But multiple Cruise AI cars just carried on driving up the street like nothing was wrong. The result? Cars that got tangled up in the caution tape. Confidence inspiring. And finally, if you are a long-time EV driver, you may not give the concept of charging a second thought, as long as you have a regular place to charge overnight. But for some potential EV owners, especially those who need to use mobility aids outside of the car or who struggle to lift things, the prospect of charging an EV at a rapid charging station is a nightmare scenario due to the sheer weight and physical dimensions of most rapid charging cables. And while some say the solution to this is to use inductive charging pads, a more sensible solution in many cases is to automate the act of plugging in. Which is why Hyundai has just debuted the latest iteration of its automatic charging robot. Designed to work in tandem with Hyundai's remote parking function, the robot can guide the car back into the charging space and then opens up the charge door and plugs in. Frankly, it's a great idea that I hope we'll eventually see at every single public charging station. And on that note, we are done for the day. Before I go though, do make sure you've hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And of course, if you haven't already switched, why not switch to Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company? It is super easy to make the switch, and you'll be helping the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. I'll be back soon with more awesome content, as will the lovely Gavin, Kiwi EV Shoebridge. Do make sure that you've checked out his videos from Fully Charged Live Australia. I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but they were really good. I am going to be doing a slightly different show next week. We're going to be sitting on a couch, me and Kate Walton-Elliott, talking about some of the top news stories because we're travelling all next week, filming, but I will be back as usual the following weekend with a regular news roundup show. Whatever you watch next though, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Ka kite! See you next time.